Hi, I'm Satyendra, your IELTS trainer, and today we're going to talk about introduction paragraph in writing module. Now, what is this introduction paragraph? I'm not introducing the writing module itself. In fact, I'm going to show you how to introduce your paragraph. Right. So basically speaking, there are three different parts in an essay. Most of your essays, and let's say all of your essays which are asked in IELTS, which is a part of second task, is written in paragraphs. If you have not watched the previous video about essays, please watch it. It talks about the structure of essays or what essays, kind of essays you might be asked for. But in this video, we're going to talk about the first paragraph, that is the introduction. It doesn't matter whether you write essay for IELTS or any other exam, you have to write an introduction for it. Even when you write scientific paper, you have to provide an introduction. So in an essay, there are three parts for sure. This video can be helpful for IELTS and other exam as well. Yeah. The first one is introduction. Second one, body paragraph, and third one, conclusion. These are the three types of paragraphs that you have to write. Have to means must write. Now the number of paragraphs in introduction is just one. The number of paragraphs in body, could be many, right? So it could be 2, 3, 4, any number, or even one if you want. And the last one is conclusion. That is also just one single paragraph. This could be 1, 2, as many you want, the body paragraph part. And today our task is to talk about introduction paragraph. Now you understand what we are talking about. When we write an essay, the structure goes like this. We have an essay which consists of paragraph. The essay always consists of paragraph. The first paragraph is called introduction. The remaining paragraphs just before the last paragraph are called body paragraphs. So this is body paragraph. And the last one is definitely conclusion. Today's task is this one. With every video, we will be talking about next theme. Like for example, next video will be about body paragraph, and the last video in the series of structure of essays will be conclusion. Let's begin then. What is the importance of this introduction? Actually is very important, I would say, because it provides the first impression. Now I'll explain with an example or analogy. So when you write a paper or even write an essay, a person looks at your introduction as an entry point, as a first impression, right? So I look at an introduction, I say, that person got good skills, right? Including your language skills, your analytical skills, your thinking skills. So I judge everything within an introduction, that if I want to provide this person in the category of 9 band, 8 band, 7 band, or 6 band, or any number below, right? So the impression actually is big rather than the paragraph itself. If your introduction is amazing, that means you are kept here, 9 bands, kind of like, oh, this essay is going to be amazing because the introduction is pretty good. So if your body paragraph is okay, they might put you here or here maximum. But if your introduction itself is 6, of course, they're not going to expect much. They're going to go back to here down, like 5 bands, 5.5 bands probably. And this is one of the reasons most people don't get good score in writing. They don't focus much on introduction itself. Introduction of an essay is really important because of its first impression. Okay? And I suggest you start with, after you understand the impression, with the question. I don't think you have seen the question yet in the series, what question looks like in writing part of IELTS, but we're going to see now. But one thing before that, please understand the question before you start writing. Yes, it should always be understood first. Always. Without question, writing an answer is just useless. On what basis would you create an answer? If you understood even incorrectly, wrong thing. So you have to understand the question correctly before you proceed with the answer. Most people love to be aggressive and, oh, answer is important. That will be providing me bands. Yes, it will provide you bands, but not the incorrect answer, or not the answer of another question that you are answering here, which is not applicable. They might call it out of topic and you will lose a lot of marks. So please understand the question first, then proceed with the structure or creating points that we will see later, or we have seen already in the POWER method. Right? Good. Now this is kind of a typical question which you might get in exam. That is a question here. First of all, there will be statements or a single statement. Question type here. So this will be, first one will be a statement. Based on this will be a type of question, and finally some general instructions. The last one are always general instructions, like write at least 250 words, give reason for your answer, and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So this information is repeated in every question. By the way, this is taken from IELTS.org USA website. So this is just an example to show you what a question looks like. Now, based on this, it is clear that this is agree or disagree kind of an essay. Don't worry about the technical wordings I'm using, what is agree and disagree. In the coming videos when we are watching, or the coming lessons when we are watching question types, you will understand this part in detail. But for now, our main focus is this part, which is the question part. If you look at this, we have two statement question. It could be single statement as well. My point was that you have to see first in a question, there's a part where we have statements or a single statement. Then we have a type, question type, and finally general information. Of course, everything is important, but if you have practiced enough, general information never changes. It will always stay same. It always gonna stay same, so no need to worry about that. Just worry about the statement and the type. Cool? Nice. Now see, this information, as I said, will be repeated, so we can just, I think, eliminate it for now. We'll keep this as the main question, and let's keep it in center to understand here. What do you understand from the question itself? Right, before you even proceed, let me just read it for you. A person's worth nowadays seems to be judged according to the social status and material positions. Old-fashioned values such as honor, kindness, and trust no longer seem important. This is the question statement. And the question itself is, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? So this is the question that you have to understand. Based on the question of understanding, use the POWER method, in which you divide the major ideas and minor ideas and important words that without them it doesn't make any sense. For example, that person is judged according to the social status and material positions, which are, there's examples such as this, and honor, kindness, and trust are no longer important. So these are some important words that for which you have to look for vocabulary. This is how you understand the question and proceed using POWER method, which was described in previous video. Okay, good. Now this part is, as I explained earlier, gonna talk about the type of question. Here we have agree or disagree. Now how to proceed with agree or disagree type is a different issue. But for now, we can ignore this part in our introduction. Or let's say the first statement of introduction. This will be important only when we are writing body paragraph. In introduction, we will be using it very little. Okay, good. Now, any statement which you have in your essay would be a fact or opinion or combination of both. Generally, it is either only fact or mixture of both. So you might have just fact or fact plus opinion. Now you're just thinking, what am I talking about? Let me show you what I mean by that. This was the question which we have seen earlier, right? Now in this part is a fact. A person's worth nowadays seems to be judged according to social status and material position. This is the truth. There's no denying this point. But if you look at the next one, this one is an opinion of some people. This is not the fact. Old-fashioned values such as honor, kindness, and trust no longer seem important. This is their opinion. right? Not our opinion. It's someone's opinion. So our point is to figure out what is a fact and what is an opinion in a question. Chances are there that you might get a single statement and it might be a fact only. Look at this one. Lack of fresh water is becoming a global issue of increasing importance. This is a question, essay question. There will be more, you must have seen general introduction below, general information below in previous question. But we are not including that here. We are only including the statement. Statement will be like this: lack of fresh water is becoming a global issue of increasing importance. What problems does this shortage cause? What measures could be taken to overcome these problems? Here, there's nothing like an opinion. We have a fact, and they're asking you to solve this fact, or let's say solve this problem by using these questions. Clear? So could be, there will be only fact or opinion. Understand this part, that in a question, there could be fact plus opinion or just fact. Okay, good. Now this part being a fact, other parts were just also fact. So it takes us to the structure. Now what is this structure? I'll tell you what structure is. So when we form a box kind of diagram in which we can put 3 different parts, or let's call it 4 different parts for an introduction. In this introduction, we have 4 different parts. You should always write these 4 important points while writing introduction. And I call this a structure. This is more like a template. If you understand this, you're just going to change some words and include similar information in each part. Now what happens in each part will be shown later, but I hope you understand what I mean by structure. This is the template of your introduction paragraph. Okay, so when you write an essay, so you have introduction, body paragraph, conclusion. I'm talking about the inside structure of the introduction paragraph. Right. The first thing is, that is first sentence of the structure of the body paragraph is a fact-based statement. What is a fact-based statement? I think we have seen what is a fact in a question. Based on that fact, we create a statement, a general statement. Right. Remember, this was a question earlier. A person's worth nowadays seems to be judged according to social status and material possessions, and all this question about if these things are important or not. Our fact in this question was this one, isn't it? So you would be requested, or this would be recommended, that your first sentence is a sentence connected to this part, only the fact-based statement. Now look, this is a fact-based. I'm going to get rid of rest of it, and I'm going to provide you an example statement or example fact-based sentence, which could be our first part. So we have 4 parts in an introduction. This would be the first sentence in the introduction. Recently, people are being accounted for their social status and the things they own. What did I do here? I just paraphrased the same thing, but in my, just try to make it look like as if I'm introducing the fact, not the whole essay, right? Or the social status of a person and the things they possess are considered the way to judge a person in recent times. I'm trying to write this part, which is the fact, in a different way. That's it. This is also called paraphrase. I hope you understand, right? Next one we have is, that is sentence 2. Remember, there are 4, so we have sentence 2. Others' opinion or view on the statements. This is sentence 2. In our question, if you look at it, this was an opinion. So you have to understand this part. We're going to talk only about this. That some people believe that characteristics such as honor, benevolence, and trust aren't considered decisive categorizing a person. These are not considered anywhere in the they are not deciding factors of categorizing a person. This is called second sentence, or a fact opinion-based statement. Right? Some people believe this, and based on this, what you're going to do is you're going to provide the sentence 3. That is your opinion or view on this topic. So I'll just revise in a way short so that you understand what we are going through. Sentence 1 was a fact-based statement. How did we find the fact? By understanding the question. There might be fact or opinion. Sentence 2, we talked about others' opinion on this fact. Alright. Sentence 3 was your opinion or view on the topic. Got it. So which we are here right now. Let me show what it means by this. The same question. Now, what is your view on this? Do you think it's true? Do you agree with this? I would say, yeah, I believe in this. So these are the positive parts. So, however, I believe otherwise. I mean, this is the negative part. So somebody said this, that old-fashioned values such as honor, kindness, and trust are no longer seem important. These are not important. So my point is, however, I believe otherwise. I feel some people say this. I believe otherwise. However, I don't think this is true. I go opposite again. Another possibility. However, I totally disagree with the statement. So I'm showing my opinion on the topic. It's very important that you clearly mention here I, because this is your opinion. You cannot say in indirect tone. You have to be, in passive, or you have to be active. Your voice should be active here. That you as a subject, what do you think? Okay, good. The second part would be if you have a positive tone, that means you're going with the flow or with the opinion. I believe the same, and I totally agree with the statement. If you don't mention any of these, let's say these are two options you can write in an essay, you cannot write both. In that case, it will be a clear paragraph. What if you don't mention these? Then you're gone. A person who is reading your essay gonna be confused to hell because they won't know what the essay topic, or let's say the whole body paragraphs and the conclusion will be about. For an example, you're asking, do you like dogs or cats? If I talk suddenly about elephants, would you be able to judge what I really like? Of course not. You have to talk about either dogs or cats. You got my point, what I'm trying to say here. So please understand, are they asking about dogs and cats or something else? Talk about these if they're asking about them. Don't talk about something new. And you clearly mention, I am gonna go for this. So if they have a question called dogs versus cats, I have to choose one. Let's say I choose cats, then I talk about cats. But you have to mention when you're choosing, I prefer cats over dogs. Same thing, I totally agree with the statement, or I totally disagree with the statement. It's important that you mention your opinion. Next one is the structure for the remaining essay. Remaining, I mean the body paragraphs and the conclusion. What is the meaning of structure? This is like glue to the body paragraph. Okay? Look, this was a question. We already have finished our the 3 sentences of our introduction. The first one is the fact-based statement. Second one is others' opinion. Third one is your opinion. And finally, we have the structure of the essay. Let's see an example. 3 arguments for the agreement or the disagreement, whichever you choose. This is an option, of course. And a counter argument are explained in detail below along with the conclusion. So these things are explained in detail below with conclusion means now they know that this is ending of your introduction. After this is gonna come 3 different arguments which are for your agreement or disagreement, and a counter argument is important. We'll see why it is important when we are understanding the question type itself. And they are explained with example probably. You can add also that along with the conclusion. This statement should always be very similar. You can write in different words, but you should know that you should provide number here. A number shows that this is planned essay. So do you see that what I mean, a planned essay? If you don't provide a number, you say few arguments. Who knows what is few here? A number is a better option, right? Now let's see the full introduction, what we have done so far, so that we get the point clear. This was the question and this is the answer. Recently, people are being accounted for their social status and the things they own. Some people believe that the characteristics such as honor, benevolence, and trust aren't considered decisive categorizing a person. However, I totally disagree with the statement. 3 arguments for the disagreement and a counter argument are explained in detail along with the conclusion. So this is the whole introduction in which we talked about everything we need to, and it's short. Don't try to increase it more than 4 sentences because we have a limit of 250 sentences. I mean, it's not a limit, but try to make it to 270. You can write as many, but minimum is 250. I generally prefer 270 or something like that. So if your introduction is huge, your body paragraphs have to be short. If they are short, you can't explain properly. I prefer and I suggest 3 to 4 sentences in your introduction maximum. Okay, I hope you understood what introduction is, because this is the building block, or let's say the first impression in front of your exam checker or anyone who's reading your essay. Please try to make it more interesting and informative as well for the person who's going to understand the remaining part of your essay. Okay, I hope you learned something new. I'm going to see you in the next video. For now, have a good time.